Hi guys, time for chapter 44. I held Jamie and we cried and cried. His tears wet the front of my shirt and my snot got into his hair. We cried like I'd never cried before. It hurt so badly. The ache in my heart was worse than my foot had ever been. When we stopped crying, I held him in my arms and rocked him back and forth. At last he looked up at me, his lashes still fringed with tears. He said, "I want to go home." "We are," I promised him. "As soon as the sun's up, we're going." I could read street signs now. I could find my way. I didn't have any money for train fare, but I was willing to bet there would be a WVS post somewhere. The WVS women would help us out. I got out the birth certificates and showed Jamie his. "You were born on November 29, 1933, I told him. "You are 7 years old." And I showed him the marriage certificate too. "Our father's name was James, just like yours." I took out the last piece of paper, a newspaper article. "Accident at Royal Albert Dock kills 6. He died when you were a tiny baby, when I was just turned 4. I put the marriage certificate and the newspaper clipping back in the drawer, but stuffed the birth certificates into my jodhpur pocket, ready for the morning. Whoop, 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 whoop. The sound came from the open window, louder and louder. An air raid. I didn't know where the shelter was. I didn't have crutches. I hadn't walked far on my bad foot for a long, long time. Jamie grabbed my hand in a panic. The siren's wail grew louder. "Come on," I said. "Where?" I pretended I knew. "Down the stairs." People were hurrying out of the flats, rushing down with bedding in their arms. I couldn't slide down the stairs, not in the crowd, so I clutched the rail with both hands and went as fast as I could while people pushed past me. Jamie held onto my shirt, trembling. The siren began to wind down, its noise replaced by far-off blasts. Bombs. Out in the dark street, I couldn't see where to go. I could hear people, but they seemed to be moving in all directions. Shouts echoed between the buildings. I grabbed Jamie's hand and turned at random, moving as fast as I could. An open doorway, a stair going down, anything! A bomb exploded overhead. The streets rang with the sound of shattering glass. Far in front of us toward the dock, the sky began to glow red. Fire. The docks were on fire. A building behind us exploded. The shockwave threw us into the street. My ears felt like they'd exploded too. Bricks rained down and pieces of glass and rubble. I put my arms over Jamie's head. He looked like he was screaming, but I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear anything. I scrambled to my feet, pulling him with me. There, in front of us, was an open door. Steps leading down. A shelter, thank God. Strangers hauled us inside, down the stairs to a basement room full of people, hot and damp. Concerned faces, lips moving, saying things I couldn't hear. Hands holding us up, cradling us, offering us tea, wiping blood from Jamie's face, wiping my face as well. People made room for us on the concrete floor. Someone wrapped a blanket around us. I hung on to Jamie. I would never let go of him, I thought. Never. And that is the very short chapter 44. I'm going to put a link up above this that will be newsreels. Ada talks about the newsreels at Dunkirk and how the soldiers wore their tin hats and smiled. And I'm going to post another one that's about the London Blitz. That's when Hitler started to bomb London. These were all real things that happened in World War II. And I wanted you to see some of the news that goes along with it. Ada talks about how different the newsreels were than reality. And so below, I'm going to put a link to a Google Doc. And I want you to post how you think it is different in the newsreel. The Blitz in the newsreel is different than the Blitz that Ada saw.